Ross Tucker filled in yesterday for me, and he does a great job. The reaction is great from this audience. The former NFL lineman now works for NBCSN, and Ross joins us now. Ross, what's on your mind?
Well, a couple of things, Dan. First of all, to Seton's point, I don't think that the Patriots did anything inappropriate. But if they did, wouldn't that be genius? Like, they'll never be expecting us to do it in the first game. And by the way, if you're the Patriots, if you do something nefarious, to use your word, are you really that worried? Like, what are they going to do, set 10 wells again? I mean, I don't know that you really need to be that worried at this point. But I was listening, and I wanted to chime in on McLevin's accusations about the D-line, and I guess what Big Ben said. There's no unwritten rule. I've never heard of that. Now, if the Patriots were mimicking the snap count, like calling it out, that's different. That's illegal. And if they were coming forward to simulate the snap, then they should have been called for offside. Otherwise, it's just a smart play. It's the same reason why when you're backed up on the 1 yard line, you do a hard count, because you have very little to lose. You'll only lose 6 inches half the distance, whereas you can gain 5 yards. That, to me, is just a very smart move by the Patriots that the Steelers fell for.
Okay, why was Ben upset about it then?
I don't really know why he was that upset. I think that he thought that they kind of flinched and acted like they were coming forward, but I've never heard of this unwritten rule, and I played offensive line for 7 years, 5 teams. I wish there was a written rule or unwritten rule, because it's called stemming the defensive line, and it messes with you. I mean, a lot of teams do it right before the snap, and it totally changes your blocking scheme, and you got to make that mental adjustment in a split second right before you snap the ball.
What about the headset? Mike Tomlin, now, he wasn't saying it only happens in New England, but it did happen in New England.
Well, I think with all the other stuff, all the other Patriots accusations, I think it's just sort of opened up the frustration that the other teams have with. I think, Dan, and I think you know this, every team thinks that Brady and the Patriots were deflating balls, right? I mean, they all believe that the Patriots did that. And I think with Brady getting off, I just think that the frustration level is really high. And then you combine with that the fact that the headsets seemingly never work and they always go out at the most inappropriate times at Gillette. I think there's a boiling point of frustration around the league. I guess the one point I would mention, though, is that it was only coach to coach. So Keith Butler is still telling Timmons what to do on defense, and Todd Haley's still telling Big Ben. So it doesn't really have that much of an impact. I mean, the impact is, the DB coach saying, hey, they're going 3 wide a lot to the linebacker coach. I mean, it's not a big competitive advantage, but I guess what we've learned over the years is that any even minimal competitive advantage, and I can tell you from playing for the Patriots, any minimal competitive advantage, they'll do it. I mean, when I was there in 2005, Dan, we practiced on the game field all the time, and it was the worst field I've ever played an NFL game on. That was totally by design, because we would practice on it, we would tear it up, we knew the dead spots, we knew what cleats to wear, and again, that's just kind of smart. There was nothing illegal about it. It was just a minimal advantage that Belichick came up with.
Do you think Belichick likes this, enjoys this?
No, I don't think he does anymore, because for a guy that doesn't like the media, I've never seen someone do so many documentaries, right? I mean, so he clearly cares about his legacy, and I think he wants to be perceived as the greatest coach of all time. I think he wants that, whether he would say that outwardly or not. He's got the biggest football library of all time anybody has. I don't think he wants the books to be all about cheating or potential cheating. I think he wants them to be about him winning and being a good coach, and he is a good coach. I mean, Dan, I'm on the sideline last night. There's multiple series out there where the center and both guards for the Patriots are all rookies. I mean, the entire interior offensive line had a total of 5 combined starts in the NFL, and they're playing on opening night. 2 of them are undrafted free agents, including the center. I mean, who does that? And who wins with that? It's crazy. The running back is a guy that got cut by the Browns and the Colts the last 2 years. By the way, the Browns and the Colts could really, really, really use a running back like Deion Lewis right now. Instead, he's playing for the Patriots. I mean, it's just crazy. Gronkowski, second-round pick because of his back. Every team could have drafted him. Edelman, 7th round. I mean, it's when you really look at their players and you look at what they do with them, it's insane. It really is.
Before I let you go, you brought this up on the air, but I'd like to get the Cliff Notes version of it. Belichick instructing you, giving you talking points to deal with the media. You were there for 1 year with the Patriots. Explain, like, what day would Belichick give the talking points to the Patriots so when they spoke to the media?
Wednesday, because that was usually your first availability, either Monday or Wednesday, whenever your first availability with the media was. And it was really interesting, Dan, because I would work out in the morning sometimes, and he just sits there in the morning on the treadmill, I guess stands there on the treadmill walking, and has all the clips written about the Patriots and written about the opponent, and he just highlights stuff for either things that the other team says that he gleaned some information from, or knowing what the talking point storylines are going to be for his team. Then he comes into the meeting, and we're playing Jacksonville, round 1 of the playoffs, wild card round, and he says, all right, here's what they're going to ask you. They're going to ask you about the weather and Jacksonville playing in the cold weather. There's no difference. Same weather for both teams. A lot of you guys are from the South. It makes no difference. They're going to ask you about, this. They're going to ask you about that. And he would say, like, I don't know if the media tipped him off or he just had already read the stories on Monday and Tuesday, but he knew the 3 or 4 things that they were going to ask you, and he pretty much told everybody what our message was, what the Patriots' unified message was, because, I don't know, because it's important that he wanted to make sure that the storyline didn't change, that there was no excuses. I played for 5 teams, never had any coach that cared about the media and trying to control the media as much as him. I didn't really get it as a player. I'm not sure I really do now, but it's very, very important to him, that's for sure.
Thanks for filling in yesterday, Ross. Did a great job.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, Ross Tucker, former NFL lineman, now works for NBCSN.